Scientists haven't discovered this yet because they don't have the equipment to detect it, but the center of our galaxy is not just a black hole. Black holes dig a vortex well of gravity into the fabrics of space and time, or in Einstein's conjunction of the two words in his thesis of general relativity, what he calls the fabrics of reality. They are not mathematically capable to be mobile or in motion because of this. But our galaxy is constantly in motion along with everything within them. How is this so? Because the black hole in our core is surrounded by a type of star whose composition is not yet detectable by our sensors. If they were, they would have known of this before the Voyager probes left our solar system, where they encountered a wall of fire and intense heat like that of a star, when they expected to instead be confronted by the cold, freezing temperatures of deep space. They experienced this because we exist within a quasar star whose center of immense mass is balanced by a black hole within its central region. The central black hole is actually held in a balanced equilibrium within the core of the star that radiates on a spectrum beyond our senses' ability to register. The relativistic jets plume out and curve along the edge of the quasar's surface, and the energy emitted by the star creates a harmonic resonance with the black hole within its core, therefore causing the black hole to negate its gravitational well from digging into the fabrics of space, and it becomes a mobile black hole that travels in synchronicity with the star and the galaxies within it. Also, the black hole's presence allows the density of the star to remain minimal enough due to the presence of the ion cloud bands that constantly break down solid particle formation, allowing the quasar's particles to remain as scattered and as spread out as possible except for random void-like areas. These areas, like ours, are where planetary formations and solar systems are able to maintain solid mass within the boundaries of these voids. Think of our solar system to be like a sunspot within the star. Each solar system, like our solar system as well as all systems within the thousands of systems we've found, are like sunspots. Regions of neutral temperate conditions created by the system's central star, which is in turn made from the particles of the quasar's particle material itself, only more dense than the quasar itself. These dense identical particles create a repelling effect within the quasar, creating a barrier against stellar particles that allows solid matter to form, cold regions to exist, and even life to forms like that of our planets to evolve. Evidence of this can be found in the Voyager probe's experience of a wall of fire they hit once they left the solar system and entered deep space. As long as that equilibrium is maintained, then the black hole remains dormant and kept that way by the quasar star around it. Once an object travels near enough to the dormant black hole, that balance is disrupted and the black hole flares out a violent flash of its relativistic jets and thus awakens the black hole until the quasar star's mass decreases to the proportionate equilibrium with the black hole, in which it will again enter a phase of being dormant once again. This process, if true, then would have a direct effect over the speed in which a galaxy travels and what direction it travels in, as well as the possible sudden change in both momentum and direction depending on the disturbance within its core based on the mass of whatever object was to be devoured by the black hole, which would dictate the degree of imbalance respectively to the amount of alteration of the galaxy's speed and course of direction. The gravitational pull of a black hole is dependent upon the object's total stellar mass when it collapses into the singularity while traveling at speed in excess of 2.7 times the speed of light, squared by the root of the object's particle speed divided by its respective kinetic force generated by that object's motion and multiplied by the density of the particle field at the point of impact, which is measured by the slip particle wavelength string theory, which will give us the total collision force's square root, which is the gravitational force of each black hole's strength. The condensed core is the bulb of the Milky Way and is, in principle, the effect of what occurs when there is no vortex gravity well of a black hole for matter to be directed into. It instead is plumed outward into a thin inner core layer of a galactic center. But the particles quasars consist of do not condense into solid particles very thickly because of the lack of the gravity well, and is spread out in a thin layer-like pattern. The ever-increasing mass of a quasar star is balanced and made possible by the black hole that is kept full from the star's energy, keeping the vortex of the black hole full and unable to dig deeply into the fabrics of reality, thus allowing consistent motion of the galaxy. When the mass of the quasar reaches its limits due to material available, then the quasar stops increasing its mass, which causes the black hole in the center, which was dormant, to then go active and consume itself until the quasar encounters material that it can begin transitioning to fuel and increase its mass again. Then the black hole in the center will go dormant once again once the equilibrium has been rebalanced. The material that makes up the quasar is photon energy derived from the Higgs boson field of the cosmic microwave background, which were the first energies that came into fusion during the expansion era of the dawn of existence. This could also be the reason for the miscalculation in the Higgs boson field ratio that leads many scientists to theorize there is an imbalance in the boson field, when in fact that imbalance is caused by the fact that our view comes from within an object that draws its energy from its source and is the cause of that distortion within the field. The black hole also allows the quasar's immense mass to exceed the limitation of mass allowed in an object before it collapses into a black hole.
I've been stuffed in your pocket for the last 100 days. When I don't get my bath, I take it out on the sleighs. So grease up your baby for the ball on the hill. I'll polish them rockets now and swallow those pills and say, oh. Space Lord, motherfucker. There's a car in the field now in a column of flame, with 2 doors to choose, but only one bears your name. You've been drinking my blood, well, I've been licking your wounds. Well, I shave off the pitch now and the scope of your tune. You'll sing, oh. Space Lord, motherfucker. Huh. Yeah. I make my throne 1,000,000 miles away. I drink from your tears, I sing the blues every day. Now give me the strength to split the world in two. Yeah, I ate all the rest and now I've gotta eat you. Well, I said, milking my nightmares, using my name. You're strobing my cortex when you know I'm insane. I've squeezed out in hump drive